Hello, you cheeky bastards, and welcome to my today's review, which is of Deadpool, which I got to see today with my best friend. And yeah, let's talk about this movie is one of my most anticipated of this year, and there's a lot of writing on this because it's been building up the idea and the identity of Deadpool as a whole, but then towards this movie, and the director Tim Miller's he's not really a big time film director really. He's made some small hit films here and there, but he's never made a film that I've seen or heard of really. So there's a lot riding on the movie just of Deadpool itself. And is it good at all? Yes. Here's the thing. I laughed myself stupid in this movie. The R rating is completely deserved. If someone asked me, what do you love about this movie? I would literally be like, where do I start? Everything feels cool, funny, laid back, and natural. It doesn't feel forced or anything like that, like studio corporate bullcrap like that. It just feels smooth and cool and natural, like I said before. The story, just as a whole, is that this almost like hitman type of guy named Wade Wilson, played by Ryan Reynolds, of course. He essentially falls in love with this, for the better words of it, a hooker, a prostitute, or something like that. I know this difference. Please correct me. I'm sorry. And eventually they fall in love. They become a really great couple. And unfortunately, one unfortunate day, Wade himself, he gets cancer, and they say he's almost unlikable. It's almost uncertainable that he may not live from it. So essentially, he gets his deal from the shady guy, who turns out isn't that nice, really, and screws him over and gives him these really weird, out of bounds, unknown type of abilities that no other superhero knows about, and goes right for it. And essentially, this dude screws Wade Wilson over, and he steals his girlfriend as a whole. So it has a typical superhero formula. Tragedy happens to the couple, they fall in love, they have the perfect romance where it happens, something wrong happens, someone comes along, he hammers the guy down a bit, and takes his girl. And it's a bit of a standard formula for that story bit alone. And that alone is the only bad thing I could say about the movie, because I fucking loved Deadpool. I'm happy to say it. I fucking loved this movie. I was so blown away by this movie from the beginning credits. From beginning credits to the end of this movie. I laughed, and I was truly captivated by this movie. Ryan Reynolds was built up was pretty much born. Everyone is saying this. He is born to play Deadpool. He is perfect as him. He catches the sarcasm, the likability, but also the smooth criminal feeling to him. I know, smooth criminal, like Michael Jackson's song, whatever. But he just gets the character, and if anyone was giving us this role of Deadpool, they don't deserve it. It's for Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Reynolds alone. There's very few roles I could literally say that for a superhero character, maybe aside from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, because they're just so freaking perfect. With others, I can kind of see why. The other personas, why Batman would have many different actors. I don't know, really fucking scrub that on. Focus, Jack. Alright, the humor, I don't ever sell it, but I thought it was pitch perfect. There may have been a bit. Okay, granted, I will say from the trailers, it's not the trailer's fault, but there's a couple of jokes I did see coming. But that doesn't mean they were still funny. But there's a couple of jokes I saw coming, really, but for the most part, they hit perfect. And all the fourth wall breaking, I thought was appropriate, I thought was smart, and I thought it was done so freaking well, and it's probably the best fourth wall breaking, in my opinion, ever in a movie. Never has it been utilized so appropriately, in my opinion. It really, really is amazing to behold. The effects really, really good. The UCG, when they had the UCG, it's like, yeah, essentially, don't utilize the costume green or animated. Green Lantern and Origins Wolverine. What shit movies they were. They were so awful. They really are bad. But this film is so just noticeably smart for its own sake. It pokes fun at itself. It pokes fun at Ryan Reynolds' resume as a actor. It identifies his flaws. It really just speaks, I wouldn't say boundaries, but this movie, in my opinion, just had balls and the ability to take out all the pointers like, oh my god, there's so many Marvel movies, there's so many superhero movies coming out these days. Oh, you can get the whole freaking cast of X-Men in this movie. You only had to get out two X-Men characters who we barely even know, aside from Colossus, really. It's like, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and I fucking laughed till this theater was about 70 to 80% full. This movie deserves to be fucking sold out. It really is so awesome. I encourage anyone here to see this movie because it's so wicked. I can't express how funny, how cool, how charming, and how kick-ass this movie is. The action scenes were fantastic. It was shot here in Vancouver, where I'm from. So, yeah, that was awesome. And I think it was perfectly represented within the film. It had that feeling of like this could take in any city, even though I think they hint it's like Boston. I think, I don't know. You know, they are clearly Canadian. Well, Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, but whatever. It's, oh my god, it's so genuine. It's so funny. It's so cool. It's so charming. What else could I say? I fucking loved Deadpool. I only have very few problems. Like the story as a whole may seem a bit pro forma, and not all the jokes really hit. But the ad marketing campaign was fantastic. The way it was built up was fantastic. The roles were excellent. The action was superb. The comedy, in my opinion, is close to perfect. In my opinion, it really is close to being perfect comedy. Almost, there's very, very little jokes that I didn't laugh at. There's like maybe one or two, maybe three within the whole movie as a whole I didn't laugh at. And I know here on the internet I will get castrated just because I said that. I'm sorry, there's a few jokes I didn't laugh at. But you know what? The freaking rest of the film had me hooked like that. The romance, which a lot of people, including me, were like, okay, this is the category we don't know if they're going to be good at or not. And you really, and surprisingly enough, you really does captivate you. You are really and genuinely hooked. You are loving this couple, and it's weird. It's like we're just in the beginning we were laughing so hard while watching the movie, and it's like goes into like a straight up drama with him and his girlfriend. I forgot the actor who played her. She was fantastic. I'm just freaking mad about her. She was superb. She was so damn good. I loved her. She was so amazing. She was so good, and they had excellent chemistry. And just watching it, like first, like when it went into the drama route in the movie, I'm just like, okay, how's this gonna play out? And I'm just like, I'm really blown away how much I really do genuinely care. Like I'm just like there's a part of me I'm just like, why can't I get just fun? I'm like, right, you gotta balance out the film. Of course, I'm sorry. But as a whole, it really works. It knows how to balance out with the main focusing narrative of the story like this, and then kind of branches off at points, like giving brief, like 5 to 10 minute scenes. Honestly, I think they're kind of lengthy. It kind of going, it's like, oh, I've been doing this back action scene, this building so much stuff out like that, and it's like, and then action scenes, it's like, oh, okay, it's like, you all know how I got here. And it's just two stories, it's like, oh, you wanna know how I got here? Oh, I'm gonna hold this guy like a fucking kebab? Well, I'll tell you why. And then it goes back into his history. I'm just like, it's so creative. And granted, it's been done before, but I think it's done better in this one than it ever has before because it's still so sweet, so cool, so genuine, so captivating, so it grabs your attention and it doesn't let you go until the final minutes of the film. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see the after credits scene, unfortunately. However, I'm just not going to spoil that for you. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. Hell, I'm not even going to make a spoiler corner on this. I'm just going to tell you, see this film. You literally have to see this movie for yourself, for you to love it. I guarantee you will laugh your ass off. And I hope you have the same experience as I do. Because for me, this is probably the best superhero movie. Like, admittedly, last year as a whole is like, it may not have excellent superhero movies, but it had good ones. Like Ant-Man, I thought was great, and I personally loved The Age of Ultron. But this movie just trumps both. It really does. Oh my god, I love this movie. It's probably the funniest superhero movie since Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's probably the best superhero movie since Days of Future Past. I'll straight up say that. It really is, in my opinion. I loved this movie. It's probably my favorite. It really is. It's probably my favorite superhero movie since Guardians of the Galaxy. And a lot of people have complained last year wasn't really that many greats, but whatever. Focus on Deadpool. Just as a whole, I freaking loved Deadpool, and I encourage you to see this movie. You got to see this movie because it is phenomenal. And while it may not be revolutionary or groundbreaking, it knows what it is, and it sticks, and it completely commits itself all the way through to the very end, and it keeps you hooked, captivated, and leaves you crying for more, even though your quench of Deadpool is drenched, but yet it's kind of like, oh my god, this movie was so fucking funny. It's so funny. My promise for this movie are like very few and far between. It may not be that revolutionary or anything. The story doesn't a bit pull formula, and there is probably, in my opinion, a few jokes that didn't work, but it's like, as a whole, it's not going to deteriorate the film for me. In the end, Deadpool gets 100%. It really is. I love this movie, and I'm hoping for me is smooth sailing for the next. I just hope for the rest of the year with so many other superhero movies like Doctor Strange, X-Men, Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Civil War, and so many more, because there's like 7 or 8 superhero movies this year. I hope they are as good, and I will compare them to Deadpool, because I fucking loved Deadpool. Gets, in my opinion, a pure 100%. And that's my rating, and that's just my thoughts of Deadpool, everyone. I really do hope you enjoy it, and stick around as always for more videos in the future. Until then, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I will see you till then. Bye, and thank you for watching as always. Till then.